ICICIdirect, Professor S. Mahendra Dey joins us now to talk to us about what he makes of the budget that got unveiled on the 1st of Feb. Thank you very much, Professor, for joining us today on the show. India Inc. and the stock markets have given this one a thumbs up. The idea also of this budget was to enhance rural income and enable rural consumption by putting money back in the hands of the farmers and Bharat. Do you think it's delivered on what it set out to do?
The overall budget, it is true that the infrastructure push is there and they want to have a 25-year vision. Based on that, the budget they've planned. But coming to the agriculture and the rural areas, there are a few problems in agriculture and rural areas. One is, the agriculture has done well. During the last 2 years, 3.6 and 3.9% growth in the last 2 years. But there are problems with the rural incomes and wages. Because of several reasons. One is the terms of trade in agriculture. In layman's terms, agriculture people are paying more prices for non-agriculture goods and for their farm inputs compared to what they get. So they are not in favor of agriculture, in favor of farmers. So if they want to buy farm inputs or health, other expenditures or FMCG goods, they have to pay more. So, and also rural wage growth has declined. Remittances have declined because the migrant people have gone back. And also recent, the data on farmers' income shows that they get 127 rupees per day per farmer from cultivation. So that's very minor, meager income. And also the rural demand for FMCG, two-wheelers and all has declined. And we have K-shaped recovery because the informal sector, daily wage laborers and all, they are not lost employment and incomes are low, whereas corporate sector and stock market are doing well. So that also applies to agriculture and rural areas. So in these are the problems, incomes are low for agriculture and rural. So one expects more stimulus for agriculture and rural areas. So, but if you see the programs they have listed for agriculture, for example, the natural farming, millet development, the oilseed development, and also food processing, and then several, few other things they have listed. But details are not given. How oilseeds they are going to do it, and how the millets they're going to do it. And also they said startups, they are going to create a fund for agriculture startups. So with the help of NABARD. So these are all plans, but how they are going to implement and all, even for this, they are in the right direction. But what is needed is, of course, the food subsidy and fertilizer subsidy, there is a decline in the latest budget compared to last year. Even petroleum subsidy, there is a decline. But if you see rural development, agriculture allocation, there is only 2% increase in allocation to agriculture as a whole. And then rural development schemes, there is not much increase, 2.606 lakh crore last year and same this year. And MG Narega, Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, there is a decline in in allocation from 98,000 crore in revised estimates compared to now allocation is 75,000 crore. And similarly, Anganwadis and all also is lower, the allocation. So one expected more expenditure increase for these schemes, and also some cash transfers for increasing. As you know, the private consumption is growth is low because of the K-shaped recovery. They have not increased their expenditures, and they have not purchased the goods. The demand for industry is also less. So in this context, we expected some more, allocations for the rural and agriculture, but this has not happened. So
Indeed.
otherwise, overall budget, plan infrastructure push is quite good. That's why probably the Inc. and the stock market are doing well.
You're right, Professor. In fact, on one hand, the budget for rural development ministry allocations only increased by a mere 3.36%. They've not done much in terms of the timely payment, which is an issue, the wage differentials that currently takes place in states. What they have done, though, is they've increased MSP, and that, of course, is being viewed as a positive on one hand. But let's not forget that the push for infrastructure, expansion of local manufacturing, digitization potentially in hinterlands will boost rural economy in the coming days. But the reality is rural market is still grappling with subdued demand resulting from the impact of record high commodity inflation, the COVID-19 pandemic. How long do you anticipate all of this will take to actually, in reality, support rural India? Because in terms of allocations, they really haven't gotten very much this year. Yeah, no, in fact, rural development, they have given separately in another head. It is 2.06 lakh crore last year and 2.06. But if you go to the ministry, there is separate allocation is there. So it's not much because one expected much more allocations. So regarding your question on how long it will take to get the consumption, because as you know, GDP itself, 2 years almost lost growth because the level of GDP in end of FY22 will be the almost same as FY20. So we almost lost 7 plus 7, 14% growth in GDP. So that itself is, will take some time. So my feeling is that 23 could be better if there is no pandemic, if we don't have beyond Omicron. So hopefully from April, one can see the, pent-up demand and other things and contact intensive sectors. Also, the theaters and hotels and all will open, and hopefully there will be consumption. But rural areas, you have to have government push to have more allocations and all. Hopefully the infrastructure will have some impact on the rural areas also, road improvement and other things. It will improve rural areas also. But it will take some time. I feel that 1 or 2 years to make up for the losses in employment and incomes of the rural population. Right. Professor, very lastly, on a scale of 1 to 10 now, where do you mark this budget? 10 being the highest, of course. No, on the overall vision and infrastructure long term, it is fine, around 7 to 8. I give, but on the agriculture and rural, I give 5 to 6. Right. Thank you very much, Professor. It's always such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all related documents carefully before investing.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to never miss an update from ICICI Direct.